The Go Fast Racing League is on the air tonight, live from Bristol Motor Speedway. We have Xfinity cars and the Grand National Series. Sam Cooper Bennett in the booth with you once again, joined by my brother from another mother, Mr. Tony Trabasso. Tony, how are you doing today?
If I was any happier, Sam, I need to be twins. I cannot state how much I love this track.
Yeah.
We're about to find out tonight who's going to be the king of the country, the boss of the sticks. Who's going to be the mid-10 hustler tonight, as we are here in awesome Bristol, Tennessee. And I just want to give a quick shout out. If you guys are ever in Bristol, Tennessee, you owe it to yourself to go to a restaurant called Pigtails and Fishtails. It's about 1.5 miles from the track. Awesome grub, awesome food. And every time there's a race at Bristol, they give commemorative magnets out.
You know, the weird thing is that I live in Ireland, and even I've heard of that place.
Awesome place.
Yeah.
Another shout out I got to give Dylan tuning in tonight from the Red Apple Quick Fill in Canastota, New York. You know, Dylan is a good kid. You know, he was looking at me tonight when I went into take 10 minutes off my life, and he goes, so what's on the agenda for tonight? And I told him. He goes, oh, I got to see this. So Dylan, I know you're tuning in. What's up? Thanks for the subscribe. If you like the action that you're seeing tonight, folks, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share. And if you want to get in on the action, go ahead and drop a comment below, and we'll get you your info with your iMation screen name. We'll get your info passed along to Skylar and the kids, and see if we, or Tyler, and see if we can get you guys added to the action next week.
Speaking of the action, let's go to our live feed. No, actually, no. Let's go to our current point standing, as it's very, very close up in there right now. Tony, I don't know if you've been paying attention to it lately, but the current point standings as they are. Let me find it. No, that's PC overlays. There you have it right there. Michael Trevarthen is your points leader right now. No wins on the board, no poles, no. He's just been very consistent today, getting 206. Oh, this season getting 268 points. Just 1 point behind. In second place is Tyler Cox with Brian Littleton third. Fourth is Joe Burchett. Fifth is Dylan Vose. Skylar Allen is in sixth place. Austin Marion seventh. Jeff Webker 8th, 9th is Jeff Schmidt, and 10th is Stephen Parks. So Michael Trevarthen using consistency to his advantage, Tony.
Consistency to his advantage, but if you take a look at the current points battle, Trevarthen sitting in fourth, Tyler Cox currently sitting atop the leaderboard in hot laps, and Joe Burchett sitting second quick. So, you know, we could possibly see a shakeup in points tonight here at the Last Great Colosseum.
Absolutely. As we go to our live feed and watch the guys going around. Last night we had probably one of the most entertaining races we've seen in a long time, Tony. I'm guessing we're going to have pretty much the same again tonight.
I'm guessing we're going to have pretty much the same here again tonight. Is right, Sam. You know, Bristol shows no mercy, and if you don't show the track respect, the track will bite you. As I'm watching Jeff Schmidt try to take down the turn 2 wall. One thing I do want to point out, Sam, if we could get a shot of the 15 of Adam Chapman. One thing I do need to mention is you'll notice the paint scheme on Chapman's car is carrying a ribbon with puzzle pieces on it. Now, that is in to commemorate his nephew, Noah, who happens to have autism. And for those of you who don't know what autism is, it's a disability that appears during early childhood, usually, and affects the person's ability to communicate, interact with others. You know, and there's a lot of different, you know, behavioral quirks associated with it, including, you know, difficulty learning language, making eye contact, holding a conversation, and one of the worst ones is sensory sensitivity. And I know you're you have a nephew as well that is struggling with autism, Sam.
I do, and yeah, I want to give a quick shout out to Jamie. I was probably in bed right now, fast asleep, but yeah, Jamie is my nephew that suffers from autism, but he's I tell you what, he may have autism, but he's one of the brightest lads I know. So he's definitely.
And that's the thing is, just because somebody has these behavioral, issues associated with autism, it doesn't mean that they're dumb.
No.
Some of the brightest people on the planet that have ever lived have been diagnosed with autism. But for more information on how you can get involved and how to help treat autism, we ask that you go to autism-society.org. And it's a great cause, and you don't have to give a ton. Just any little bit that you could help, donate would definitely help.
Absolutely. As we can go back to our action now. Everybody's putting down their times already. Derek Pemberton, a shock at the top there. He's currently got the pole position. Absolutely smoking one, putting Michael Trevathan and Tyler Cox in their place right now.
Well, Pemberton, the only one so far to go into the 14s, as Vos is on the track right now.
Yeah, Vos putting down a time good enough for 4th place right now. He is the only one actually running at full speed. John Morris is there as well in that number 43 machine. He's starting his qualifying run now, and he jumps up to 10th place.
Morris jumps up to 10th place as Stephen Parks also out on the track right now in the Turn 4 Racing number 1. Landon Lacey, another one cranking off a lap in the Bass Pro Shops. That's a sharp-looking car. I'm liking the feel of the 35 tonight.
Yeah, I almost missed that because Treading Paint isn't playing nicely tonight.
Well, it just appeared for me.
Yeah.
David Worrell looks like he's just getting up to speed now. Josh Banks rips one off, goes 5th quick.
So a lot of the names that you wouldn't expect to be at the top are at the top. So this is an interesting race though, Tony. We're going to see a lot of the short track specialists come to the front, and maybe see a lot of the usual front runners actually struggle tonight.
Well, that was one of the things we noticed last night is tire wear and tire conservation are really going to be the key to being able to survive Bristol tonight, as unfortunately for some of the kids.
Yeah, that's true.
Last night, we saw that the low line when the racing happened was not where you wanted to be, because all you were doing then was just you were scrubbing off speed and you were just destroying that right front tire.
Absolutely, as we're seeing David Worrell going around the track now, and he's trying all sorts of different lines on his qualifying run to see where he feels most comfortable. At the moment, he seems to be more comfortable at the bottom and the middle right now.
Well, he looks like he's more comfortable down where it looks like the rubber from last night is still laid down there. As we saw some guys racing side by side and laying a ton of rubber down on that low side. These guys were hot lapping. Some of the fast cats were down low, but I think when the racing starts, you're going to see that high line and anybody that's brave enough to flirt with the safer barrier up there really going to be able to make it happen on the high side.
And we saw a lot of that last night with the Cup cars in the Somo Racing League. And speaking of Somo Racing League, just want to give a quick shout out to Paul Zota, who supplied our overlay for tonight. He does have his logo up on the screen right there, so if you fancy an overlay, got something on your mind, want something on your screen, just give Paul Zota a call. That's PZ Overlays.
PZ Overlays, some of the best overlays in the business, and I'll be willing to put, if anybody's got a problem with me saying that, I'd be willing to throw hands to stick up for the overlays that Paul has put out there. Another shout out I do need to give, and awesome company that they gave us a shout out. I'm going to give them a shout out. Trackside Racing Network giving us a shout out for tonight's broadcast. I've watched some of their stuff on Facebook. Good company, and I think that's something that we might, as a company here at BOPA, need to maybe get together and see if we can work together with them in the future.
Yeah, and that's Mr. Adam Chapman again. He's one of the people that works for Trackside Racing Network. So Adam Chapman really putting the word out tonight.
Adam Chapman, arguably one of the most awesome people on the planet, in my personal opinion. But Sam, let's go through the starting order, as these guys are starting to grid up.
Absolutely, as on the front row tonight and putting an unofficial lap record down is Derek Pemberton. He'll be joined on that front row by current championship leader Mr. Michael Trevarthen. Row 2 will consist of that one.
Tyler Cox is still involved.
Yeah, row 3 will be Jeff Schmidt and Joshua Banks. Row 4 will be Todd Cray and Brian Littleton. And row 5 will be Jeff Webker and Joe Burchett.
Landon Lacey and Adam Chapman are going to roll off in row number 6. Row 7 is going to see John Morris and Gary Griffith. Steve Parks and Austin Marion are going to roll off in row number 8, with row 9 going to Craig Hawkins and Lee Granty. David Worrell and Eric Minch going to be starting shotgun on the field in row number 10. So 20 cars scheduled to do battle here tonight, Sam.
Absolutely.
As we see the 35 already dropping to the tail end of the field.
Interesting strategy there as we are watching our pole sitter Derek Pemberton. A very shocking pole position there for the number 16, but he's up there nevertheless, as just waiting for the pace car to peel off. No, they've got one more lap. Okay, I'll take it back.
Yeah, it's a half mile, Sam, to get 2 laps pacing. But getting back to what you're seeing on Pemberton's car, there's another good charity that's on that car, and that's the American Heart Association.
Yeah, and
if I've read that back bumper right, he's running that for Madison.
Absolutely. A lot of good paint schemes, a lot of good
That's
causes.
One thing I love about most of the leagues that we broadcast is there's a lot of charitable work being done by some of these drivers. And I really appreciate that. And I want the drivers to know that. Pace cars in, and we are underway at Bristol for 200 laps in Xfinity cars.
Yeah, Michael Trevarthen already taking a look on that outside of Derek Pemberton. Can he get the stick going into turn number 3? No, not quite yet, as the bottom line is still quite rubbered in. But there it goes. Michael Trevarthen is our new leader already.
Well, you saw that the same thing that we saw last night, where the guys that are on the high side are definitely able to keep it wound up, and they get the drive off the corner, because whoever's on the low side is going to get pinched down.
As we're watching Dylan Vose there has just moved up to second. Derek Pemberton seems to be falling backwards right now, as there goes Tyler Cox. He's up into 3rd place. Here comes the number 36 of Joshua Banks as well. Pemberton really struggling right now.
Pemberton really struggling. He's finally able to... No, he's not able to get back in line. Now he's dealing with Brian Littleton in the 80. And, you can really see it there as Littleton pinched him down. And unfortunately for Pemberton, he was not able to get that drive off the corner. And here comes the 61. They're 3 wide.
Pemberton backs off.
Pemberton backs off. Looks like he thought better of it. He's just trying to find space right now, so he's just trying to get to where he can run and just crank off some laps, it looks like.
Yeah, meanwhile, we're looking at Mr. Jeff Schmidt. Had a bit of controversy last week in Texas, but it seems to be racing fine here tonight so far. Currently under pressure from Joe Burchett and Adam Chapman in the Autism Speaks machine. Jeff Webker right behind them in P10, rounding out the top 10. Running a different kind of paint scheme tonight.
Running a different color paint scheme, but if you notice the car right behind him, Steve Parks has a lot of damage on the right side of the Turn 4 Racing #1.
Yeah, I think he's already had a bit of a expedition into the wall at some point during this race. We're already 9 laps in. Steve Park's a man running on his own tonight, as we are missing Mark Nadeau tonight. No Mark Nadeau tonight, so yeah, so he's running solo tonight.
Steve Park's running solo as he dive bombs it into the corner side by side with Wubker. Wubker's letting him go. Looks like Wubker, discretion being the better part of valor, he's letting Morris go as well. Knows that we've got a ton of racing left to go.
Yes, Austin Marion is there as well. He's going to try and make a move on the 09. Goes on the inside. Wubker's going to give it to him as well as Gary Griffith. No, Gary Griffith falls in right behind him. Let's go to Joe Burchett, who knows how to run through a field, and he's got damage on his car. Oh,
Craig Hawkins just got dumped. No caution though.
That is unfortunate.
Yeah, Eric Minch. Unfortunately, Hawkins had to check up a little bit and was trying to save it. Hawkins just got run straight flat over by Eric Minch.
Oh dear. Unfortunate for Hawkins, as let's go back to our leader, Michael Trevathan. He's got Dylan Vose for company, who has made his way up to second place now with that usual fella right behind him, Mr. Tyler Cox. So it's a three-way battle for first place.
There's a three-way battle starting to shape up as those guys are over a second to the good over fourth place Josh Banks at 36.
Yeah, we saw this last night with 3-car battles going on and everybody else fighting behind him. But Josh Banks is all on his own right now. He's got a 7/10 of a second lead over Brian Littleton in 5th place. But Brian Littleton has got Todd Cray right on his back bumper right now.
You took the words right out of my mouth, Sam. As Cray and Littleton just throwing bombs at each other, and it's not going to be too much longer before I think something's going to happen between these two.
Todd Cray, as I mentioned last week, making his comeback after having an operation, as he bangs onto the left rear quarter panel of Brian Littleton, getting a bit frustrated behind that number 80 machine.
Well, that could have ended a lot more poorly than it did. Luckily, they were coming out of 2 and not out of 4. Because the transition off the banking of 2 isn't quite as dramatic as it is off 4, and we saw 4 be Calamity Corner last night.
Yeah, everybody seems to be doing okay through turn 4 this time, but then again we are in the Xfinity cars as Jeff Schmidt gets a bit out of shape going through turn 4. I take that back, and he's going to let Adam Chapman through. Or is he?
Schmidt's not letting off, and looks like Chapman's fighting back right now.
Yeah, Chapman on the inside going into turn 1 and 2, making their way through on lap 21 already. We are absolutely flying for this race already. Beginning lap 22 now. Michael Trevathan back at the front. He is, wow, it's really closed up between the top 3 now. They are literally nose to tail. Trevathan gets into the wall. And he's going to lose 2 positions from that. And Dylan Vose is your new leader.
It's just that simple, and that's what I was talking about in the pre-race, where if you don't continually show the concrete here at Bristol the utmost respect, it will bite you. As you see the 2 of Trevathan, the right side of that car is just pancaked.
Yeah, and we've got Tyler Cox up there in second place. Joshua Banks not able to capitalise on Trevathan's mistake. He's still 1 second back. But look at Todd Cray. He's got around. He's right there, still with him. Actually, no. He was fighting with Brian Littleton before. Todd Cray's actually gained 2 positions.
Yeah, Littleton, if you'll notice, has a little bit more damage on that car than he did.
As we have a caution.
Tyler Cox.
Oh no.
Oh boy. Oh yes. And guess what corner bit him?
Number 4. Let's go back and watch that. Let's go back about 20 seconds and see what happened to Tyler Cox. Oh, actually he got hip checked by the number 19, Dylan Vose. Dylan Vaux's got into it as well. He manages to save it amazingly, but Tyler Cox, coming the worst off between those two. Dylan Vaux's really giving him one hell of a hip check as they come out of turn 4.
Well, Vaux got crossed up too going into 1.
Yeah, that was a result of that hip check as they are all bringing it down pit side. And Michael Trevathan managed to get the lead back after that incident as well.
Well, the only good thing about that is Vaux was able to not hit anything. Tyler Cox is going to have a long night in front of him doing a lot of pit farming to try to save the number 14 tonight.
As Vaux overshoots his pit box, I can only assume Tyler Cox has got a bit of pit farming to do after getting that damage. As Trevathan wins the race off pit road, and Cray, it looks like he comes off second. So good pit stop for Todd Cray, and Joshua Banks comes off third. Austin Marion and Eric Minch staying out. Oh no, they're bringing the pit side now.
They are bringing the pit side now. Marion's staying out to get that point for leading the lap. That's going to hand the lead of the race over to Trevathan. But, I'm looking at the times on pit road here. Todd Cray was the fastest cone to cone. And he was also one of the fastest in his box with a 14.3 install. But 28.1 to everybody else's best of a 28.5.
Yeah, actually the fastest in this box was actually Brian Littleton. He was 14.2, so 1/100th of a second faster than Todd Cray in his box. So he's down there in 6th place. Let's go back to Tyler Cox, who's dropped now to 14th place. With the damage on his car, do you think a comeback is possible for the 14?
He's still on the lead lap. It's going to be a long night, but if anybody can do it, we've seen Tyler Cox do amazing things in that Big Dog Concrete number 14 before.
Yeah, it might be a bit more difficult though around here at Bristol as he brings it down pit side again to repair some more of that damage. Let's go back to our leaders. Trevathan in the lead, Todd Cray second, Joshua Banks third, fourth is Joe Bichette now, fifth Jeff Schmidt, sixth, as I've already mentioned, is Brian Littleton, seventh Stephen Parks, eighth is Landon Lacey, who's made his way through the field. John Morris is ninth, and Dylan Vaux's is running out the top 10 even after that incident.
The only one that is not on the lead lap currently is David Worrell in the Vitamin Water number 45, who I saw get dumped earlier. Unfortunately, no caution came out when that happened, and that car looks like it's been through a war.
Yeah, and we're going to see a lot more of that tonight as this race progresses. Todd Cray, the lights are out on the pace car as Michael Trevathan picking that outside line.
Trevathan taking the outside line, and like we've seen time and time again here at Bristol, and I'm sure we're going to see more of the same tomorrow night in the K&N cars. Is that outside line is where you really want to be, only because you're not going to burn the right front off as quickly.
And Trevathan proving that as that outside line worked a treat for him, gets away nice and cleanly in the lead. Todd Cray there in second place, Joe Bichette in third place, overtaking Joshua Banks on that restart as well. So him using the he used the inside line to pass Banks. Oh no, he used the outside line, sorry.
He used the outside line, but if you take a look, that top four is starting to walk away from Brian Littleton in the 80 right now.
Absolutely.
Thanks to the inside of Burchett right now. I'm not sure if it's going to work. He's going to get it done now on pressure tires, but I don't think that Joe Burchett's going to be the one to, just roll over and play dead for anybody.
Absolutely, as he is now falling back. He was falling back into the grass of Littleton for a second. Makes another look there on the inside of Joe Bichette as they go into turns 3 and 4. Not going to work this time as here comes Brian Littleton again.
Here comes Littleton, and you saw it right there. Bichette was able to pinch down on, Bichette was able to pinch down on Banks, and that really that made Banks have to check up, and now Littleton's back in the fray as Jeff Schmidt under attack right now of the 35 of Landon Lacey.
Yeah, look at Dylan Vose, he's right there as well as he scrapes the wall again. The number 19 coming through the field, as it's going to be close between him and Lacey. Lacey has to give it to him as Vose has got the speed on the outside. Going into turn 3 now, can Vose get the clear this time round? The answer is no, as Lacey comes back again on the inside. Very close racing between those two.
Very close racing, and it would have been so easy for an oops to happen. So a lot of talent in this field right now.
Yeah, as we see Stephen Parks mind his own business there, back in 9th place. Oh, it's Bo! I was just saying that Stephen Parks absolutely destroys his car on the inside wall. Turn 4, Calamity Corner once again.
Yep, he was chasing it coming across the transition off of turn 4, off the banking onto the front stretch, and unfortunately just annihilates the turn 4 racing number 1, and it looks like he's taking it behind the wall.
Absolutely unfortunate there for Stephen Parks, as we are now under caution again. Let's go to our leader Michael Trevarthen, who has woed it down behind the pace car. Let's get our first interview underway then. Let's bring in Let's bring in our league owner, Mr. Skylar Allen, and see how... Actually, is Skylar even running tonight? I don't think he is. Is he?
Yeah.
Okay, let's bring in Skylar Allen and see...
Is he? No, he's not.
Oh, let's not bring in Skylar Allen.
He's not running tonight. Let's reach out to... how about our leader, Michael Trevarthen?
Absolutely, I'll let you conduct that interview, Tony.
Michael Trevarthen, Tony up in the booth. You got me, sir.
Yes, sir.
So we noticed that you took the high line on that restart. Were you watching last night's racing action at all? And you think that's going to be the place to be when the chips are down later on?
Well, the car's good on bottom and top, but I know getting the car wicked up on top definitely worked on the initial start. So, like I said, I think we'll stick with it for right now.
All right, fair enough. So after that first pit stop, how bad were the tires after that first run?
They weren't too bad. Like I said, obviously, me moving down to the bottom there just to test and see how the car felt down there, it was still pretty good. I mean, I still think the high lane maybe a little quicker.
Fair enough. So how is turn 4 working for you so far?
Turn 4 is good. Like I said, the car feels comfortable top or bottom. So, like I said, hopefully we can keep those guys behind me, keep the fenders on it, and see if we can bring it home.
All right, sir. Best of luck to you, and best of luck to the rest of Metalhead Motorsports tonight. And hopefully we're talking to you in about 150 more laps.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
As that was Michael Trevarthen, our current race leader. Doing well to keep it out there right now, but he's made mistakes himself in this race so far, managing to lose the lead on that first run before the first caution. So he's not exactly out of the woods himself, as everybody getting even the slightest bit of damage on that outside wall tonight.
Well, it's kind of to be expected here at Bristol. You know, where the line is with these cars as of late. After they did the repave a handful of years ago, and they kind of redid the progressive banking, so you get a little bit more banking as you go up the hill. You're able to keep it kind of wound up there. The high line was really where you want to be, but going up there, you're flirting with the marble buildup and the safer barrier now. So you figure with the safer barrier, you've got 4 feet less track to deal with than you did 15 years ago.
As the pace car peels off and we're getting ready to go again. Lap 46 will be the green flag lap as Michael Trevarthen gets off to another stormer. Todd Cray a bit more difficult this time round as they make their way into turns 1 and 2. Joshua Banks up into 3rd place now. Brian Littleton getting off to a stormer. He's up to 4th place. Jeff Schmidt 5th, and Joe Burchett That's fallen back to 12th. I didn't notice that, but he's fallen way back through the field.
It looked like he got jacked up a little bit on the restart. I'm thinking, whoever was right behind him kind of, gave him the chrome horn and got that car a little loose, but didn't get into him enough to turn it.
He's making his way through the field again now as he's already back up into P10. Meanwhile, let's go back to our battle for the lead as Todd Cray is right on the fender, the rear fender of Michael Trevathan now. Todd Cray able to get up there, but Trevathan defending that high line extremely well tonight.
Trevathan defending that high line, and it's something we're going to see all night long, is whoever is in front is going to have the preferred line be the high line, simply because, like Mike said, you can keep it wound up there, or whipped up, as he put it.
Yeah, Todd Cray can only watch and see what's happening so far in the early part of this race, as, I don't know, when it gets down to the nitty-gritty of this race and everybody's getting a bit frustrated as they want to get to the front, I can only assume that chrome horn is going to be used, and a few bump and runs are going to come into play as we get into 50 laps to go. Meanwhile, we're only quarter distance in this race anyway.
Well, allow me to give you the greatest quote of all time ever used in a post-race interview at Bristol. I didn't mean to turn him, I just wanted to rattle his cage. I'm thinking we're going to see a little bit of that tonight before all is said and done.
Absolutely, as the caution's out again. That is
Marion in the 65.
Oh, and I'm guessing that's another turn 4.
3 wide. Oh, wow.
Let's go back and watch that as Mostyn Marion's making his way through turns 3 and 4. Is that going to be the corner? He got turned by Tyler Cox, the 29 of Lee Granty getting involved in that as well. So,
well, what it looked like was Marion was trying to check up to stay off of Granty, and unfortunately, Tyler had his foot in it.
Yeah, and that car looks even more screwed up now than it did before, so even more damage to be fixed there for that number 14 machine, as they are all bringing it pit side again.
And that, I'm thinking there's no way that the number 14 is going to last another 150 laps.
Absolutely not. If he keeps getting into scrapes like that and spinning out like he has been, he could be in some serious trouble tonight. He gets out of his pit stall pretty easily as Todd Cray wins the race off pit road. So Cray gets the jump on the pits in the pit stops, and that's going to work in his favour this time round.
Actually, Josh Banks takes 2 tires and wins the battle.
And around a track like this, I know it's hard on the tyres, but 2 tyres might actually be a good thing around here.
Well, I'm thinking so, because generally what that does is it loosens the car up, and we heard guys last night complaining that the cars started to push a little bit when you wore the goodie off that right front tire. So we're about to see if it's going to work, because Joe Burchett and Josh Banks both only took 2.
Yeah, the only drivers to take 2 in that pit stop. Actually, no, Tyler Cox only took 2 as well. A 10.1 in his box, but I'm surprised he's not staying in pit road and getting some of that damage fixed, because that's only going to hamper him as the race progresses. He's currently there in 6th place.
I think he was keeping an eye on where the pace car was, and was trying to just make sure that he didn't get trapped a lap down and make what's already a hard night even harder.
Speaking of people that could be trapped on a restart, Landon Lacey staying out on that pit run. 15 laps on his tyres. That's only going to hurt him come the restart, I'm thinking.
I believe the phrase we're looking for, considering that he is driving the Bass Pro Shops number 35, is you're a sitting duck at that point.
Absolutely. So he's got a very fast, as you call it, an angry pack of dogs behind him. Joshua Banks has been looking for his win, his first win of the season. Joe Burchett is also looking for his first win of the season. Todd Cray would love to win a race this season. Michael Trevathan also would love to win a race this season, and Tyler Cox would love to win yet another race this season. So, yeah, angry pack of dogs behind him wanting their first race wins of the season.
As the lights go out on the Ford Mustang GT500 pace car.
Actually, I take it back. I think Joe Bichette's won a race this season. So
Joe Bichette has won a race. It was Vegas.
Yeah, maybe. I'm thinking. As they are 2x2 now, the lights are off the pace car. The pace car peels off, and Landon Lacey wasting no time getting him going again as Joe Bichette gets one hell of a run on Joshua Banks. Takes away that second place on the inside this time round.
Unfortunately, though, Banks keeping it wound up on the high side. Bichette not able to capitalize yet.
Absolutely not, as Banks gets around him again and back up to second place. Todd Cray is there in fourth place. He's going to put Bichette under pressure now as well. As I'm actually quite impressed with Landon Lacey. He's actually managed to get away pretty nicely there.
He's gotten away pretty nicely, but it's only going to be a matter of time before Josh Banks reels him in. Because even though Banks only took 2 tires, the 2 tires that he took are going to help immensely in the corners, as we saw him just gain tenths right there.
As we see Dylan Vose making a bit of a...
We've got a new leader.
Yeah, Joshua Banks making it look that easy, as here comes Joe Bichette as well. New tyres being the advantage in this little fight. Yeah, Landon Lacey almost getting it into the wall, trying to defend this line, as here comes Todd Cray as well. He's going to take away third place from Landon Lacey, or is he? Yeah, he is.
He got into the wall there, it was because he had help, because Joe Bichette was not coming off the throttle. As Lacey gets into the back end of Todd Cray.
Yeah, Todd Cray got a bit of damage now on that rear end of his machine. Landon Lacey, now those old tyres are really going to hurt him now, as here comes Michael Trevathan looking for that fourth place. Discretion being the better part of valor. He decides to back off as we got it. Todd Cray in the wall. Everybody.
Todd Cray in the wall, and Dylan Vose on the hammer right now.
Trying to get out.
Tyler Cox is not in a favorable position right now, as he is completely surrounded by Team Metalhead Motorsports.
Yes, here comes Jeff Schmidt as well. He wants that 7th place away from Dylan Vose. Dylan Vose defending that high line, so it's not going to be very easy to get around him on that inside line. Tyler Cox still holding on to that 6th place, even though he has that damage on his car, but still using that high line to his advantage. Let's go back to Adam Chapman. Who was in the wall?
Cox just pancaking, coming off the 4.
He's still able to hold on to 6th place, but I don't think it's going to be for long, as there goes Dylan Vose. He's got that inside line, but backs off again.
Well, that just goes to show you exactly what that high line can do, as we're watching Landon Lacey and Michael Trevathan go side by side right in front of these guys, and Lacey is hanging tough on that high side.
Yeah, he's got 28 laps on those tyres, though. It's going to be interesting to see how long he can make those tyres last, as we are now on lap 70 of 200. Made that 71 now as Joshua Banks crosses the line. Let's go back to Adam Chapman, who's actually in a battle with Brian Littleton right now and John Morris for that 9th position. I'm hearing bumping and banging all over the place. People taking pieces of that wall with them tonight.
And that just, it's something you're going to have to deal with here at Bristol, because that safer barrier shuts out, 3.5, almost 4 feet, in the middle of the corner. You lose all of that extra. Oh, Jesus, go back up to the front, Sam. We're under caution.
Oh, no.
There's a bumper bar laying somewhere from over here.
That's Michael Trevathan into the wall there. Let's see what happened to him.
He pinched the 35 up into the wall. The 35 came down, and all hell broke loose.
Oh, no, and Tyler Cox caught in that again. Oh, yep. That kid just cannot catch a break tonight.
That was the 19 of Dylan Vose. Vose looks like he may have just gotten by, though, on the inside.
Yeah, let's go back and see.
The way that those guys were running, it was inevitable that somebody was getting turned.
Yeah, Jeff Schmidt just getting by it as well in that 61. So yeah, Cox, Trevathan, and Lacey all involved in that. Yeah, that's interesting to say the least. And Tyler Cox has got to repair some of that damage now.
Yeah, he has to. As Eric Minch and Craig Hawkins both stay out, Josh Banks going to win the battle off pit road.
Yeah, he actually managed to get 4 tyres this time as he wins the race off pit road. Todd Cray's going to come off pit road in second, Joe Burchett in third, Dylan Vose fourth. Despite, I swear to God, some poo must have came out when he went through that wreck. Actually, let's find out if some poo came out. I'll let you interview Mr. Dylan Vose.
As soon as I can find him, there he is. Dylan Vose, Tony up in the booth. You got me, sir.
Not too bad, guys. How about yourselves?
Well, I'm wondering if do we need to send a dry cleaning bill to your sponsor for a new fire suit?
Well, that and then the spin didn't help anything.
Well, we were just wondering if that when all hell broke loose in front of you right then and there, if you Jeremy Clarkston the incident.
Yeah, I missed it, but I did a little prayer in between then and now.
Okay. So, other than the incident that happened earlier with you and Tyler, how's the 19 running for you?
Oh, this hot rod's super fast. I'm not sure if it's quite enough to get the lead, but I think I'll be able to stay in the conversation if I can just stay out of trouble here.
All right, fair enough. We'll let you get back at it, and best of luck to you, and hopefully we're talking to you in about 125 laps.
Cool. Thank you, guys.
That was Dylan Vose sitting there in 4th place, so he might be able to stay out of trouble this time round, as we are currently on caution number 4 out of 4. Let's go through the summary there. We've had only 4 lead changes in 76 laps and 4 cautions, so only 4 lead changes. You'd expect there'd be more on this kind of track.
Well, for the most part, whoever gets to be on the button, unless you're 23 laps older tires than everybody else around you, if you get to be on the button when the green flag comes out, chances are you're going to have the lead for at least a little while. As the lights are out on the pace car, Josh Banks going to have control of the field, taking the high line again. Todd Cray on the inside line, that Pets Paradise number 21. And Dylan Vose is going to be starting right behind the leader, so this could bode well for the Metalhead Motorsports number 19.
So where we go, we're under green once again, lap 79, it's the green flag run as Joshua Banks gets off to an amazing start. Todd Craig gets off there in 2nd place as Joe Burchett able to hold it down there on the inside. Dylan Vose not able to take advantage on that restart, and he has to settle for 4th place. He's not going to make that inside line work very well as they go into turn 1 and complete another lap. We are 80 laps in already as Jeff Schmidt is falling back behind the battle between Burchett and Dylan Vose. Let's focus on the 41 and the 19. That is our closest battle right now as they are side by side going across the line once again into turns 1 and 2.
The side by side is there. If you see Burchett finally able to get a leg up coming off the turn 2, able to keep it wound up on that high side. Vose slotting in right behind him, gonna kind of just ride for a little bit. Notice there's still a ton of racing left to do in this event.
Absolutely, as Todd Cray there in 2nd place, happy to just ride behind that number 36 of Josh Banks right now. Let's go back to our sponsored machine there of the Autism Speaks machine. That's Adam Chapman. Obviously riding that paint scheme for a good cause, as he has a nephew that has autism, just like myself. So yeah, Adam Chapman, as we've already spoken about earlier, running for a good cause.
Running for a good cause and running a very strong 10th place right now. Still a lot of racing left to do. That car is, when you compare it to a lot of the other cars on the track, that car is relatively clean. So, look for Chapman to start making some hay later on as Landon Lacey points the wrong way on a one-way street.
Yeah, and he's joined by Lee Granty. Lee Granty is on a one, looking like he's been involved in it as well. Let's go back.
They had a meeting of the minds coming out of, I think, turn 4.
Yeah, another hip check started that, and then Landon Lacey completely finished the job off. Landon Lacey getting the worst of that, and he's had to tow Lee Grandy, able to get it going again. As he's stopping on the pit straight, not really sure what his strategy is there. Maybe he's got to let the field by, I'm not sure.
He passed the pace car.
Ah, okay. Fair enough. As Todd Craig coming down pit road.
Todd Craig coming down pit road. Josh Banks staying out. Joe Burchett staying out. Jeff Schmidt staying out. Brian Littleton, Adam Chapman staying out. That's going to move him up to 5th in that Autism Speaks
machine.
Camry.
Yeah, that's the one.
Tyler Cox, oddly enough, staying out. I would have almost put money on Tyler bringing it down pit side to do a little bit more pit farming on that car. As
here he comes now.
I gotta think he's got some. There has to be something sticking into that radiator by now.
Yeah, it's only going to be a matter. We saw it last night with I think it was it Holyfield? No.
Well, Holyfield was one of them, but there were a bunch of cars last night that were missing nose pieces altogether.
Yeah,
and they still twiffed the engine.
Yeah, I think it was the one that was driving the Sim Racing Apps machine. I think it was Davidson. Oh no, Davidson.
Yes.
Yeah, he was
Davidson in the 42.
Yeah, he was driving around, and all of a sudden his engine just let go. But that's another. That was as a result of him completely missing the front end of his machine. And yeah, there's only a matter of time before that engine completely lets go on Tyler Cox if he does not get that fixed pretty soon. And it looks like he is.
Oh, he's spending as much time as he possibly can. So far, 40 seconds in his box. Actually going a lap down now, so he's doing what he can to get that car fixed.
As Michael Trevarthen makes his way into pit road as well to get some of his damage fixed as well.
Yeah, Trevarthen has to, because you know that car is completely Hogan's Ghost right now. And for those of you who don't get that reference, go ahead and Google it. You'll get the joke.
Yeah, let's go back to our leaders right now. Joshua Banks is still up in front there. Joe Bichette is in second. Jeff Schmidt up to third now with Brian Littleton in fourth. Todd Cray, the most recent person to pit. He's only 3 laps on those tyres. Watch for him to come through the field as he is there in 5th place.
Well, the lights go out on the pace car, and Josh Banks taking the high line in the Matco Tools number 36.
Yeah, but watch Joe Bichette. He's so far, Joe Bichette has been the only driver tonight that's actually made that bottom line work when it comes to passing people. So watch for him on this restart.
Yeah, but the thing you got to remember is when he did make those passes on the low side, he was on a lot fresher tires than those around him.
Yeah, now he's on older tires.
This is going to be difficult, especially with Jeff Schmidt right behind you. As the green flag comes out, Banks pulls the trigger, and we are back underway.
Joe Bichette burns up the tyres on that restart, and here comes Jeff Schmidt. Oh, so close between the 61 and the 41. And there's Brian Littleton as well on the outside. He's going to fall back like a stone as here comes Todd Cray on those fresh tyres.
And Dylan Rose got into the back of Brian Littleton on that one. As now it's Rhea Morris. Littleton almost got turned.
Yeah, Joe Bichette taking a piece of the wall as well. Just before you said that, so Bichette really driving on the edge on those old tyres, but look at Todd Cray, he's already up to 3rd place and he's chasing down the leaders already.
Cray able to get up to 3rd. Dylan Vos right now fighting with his teammate. Jeff Schmidt staying out. Vos on the fresher tires. Don't count out the number 19 yet, as you know, he's going to run his teammate clean, but he's probably going to want to get by him quickly.
Absolutely, as he's there nose to tail with that 61.
And Cray right on the back bumper of Burchette. Here we go. Business is picking up for the lead.
As we're going to go, we almost went 3 wide there, coming out of turn 4. Not the best position to be going at 3 wide. As Todd Craig's got that inside line, not sure if it's going to work for him this time. Joshua Banks almost getting into trouble there as well, as he had a bit of a moment going through turns 3 and 4. As here comes Todd Craig, he's going to get a better drag off turn 4. And yeah, he's done that twice now in this this green flag run. As Todd Craig gets the clear, and he's now up to 2nd place.
Up to 2nd place, but you can tell he's not done yet, as he's right on the back bumper of your leader, Josh Banks.
Yeah, and look behind Joe Bichette. Here comes Dylan Vose as well. He wants a piece of the action too.
Well, the thing we've seen all season so far, Vose has been strong on the shorter tracks.
Absolutely, as he's diving. Oh, as Banks into the wall as well.
And Cray up to the... It's a drag race into turn 2. Or 1, I mean.
As Cray gets the clear.
And we've got a new leader across the stripe. Todd Cray to the point. Dylan Vose up into 3rd. Almost has to clear on Bichette. Bichette fighting back. But it's going to be a matter of time before Vose can get the slide job in. There it is. That's the clear.
Oh, Craig getting into the wall then.
And this top 4 are just starting to really stretch their legs. They're over half a second to the good over the 61 of Jeff Schmidt.
Yeah, Jeff Schmidt's got his own problems to worry about, as he's got John Morris very quickly closing him down. And John Morris has got problems of his own as well, as he's got Austin Marion right on his tail now. Austin Marion having early troubles, but he's making his way back through the field. Brian Littleton, meanwhile, he's under pressure from Adam Chapman, who's driving that Autism Speeds car. As Tyler Cox looks like he's trying to get his lap back the hard way. He's right behind the 15 now. We've only got 15 cars left on the lead lap out of the 20 that started tonight. So, not bad going still, as Brian Littleton is around. Brian Littleton brings out the caution, gets turn 4 wrong again. Amazingly didn't hit anything. Wow.
Well, it looks like he had a little bit of help from Chapman to finish the job. Luckily, everybody else doing a great job to avoid hitting the Michelob Ultra number 80. And if you're in the market for Michelob Ultra in the Canastota, New York area, you need to go see Dylan over at the Red Apple Quick Mart. Dylan will get you hooked up right away, as long as you're over 21. That is.
Absolutely. Brian Littleton doing an amazing job of not damaging that car any more than it already is, as everybody's down pit road again. Todd Cray in his box, well, just about to get into his box now.
And Tyler Cox getting the lucky dog.
Yeah, so that's going to put him on the lead lap once again, but I can't help but think that he's still got more damage to fix on that car. There can't be any, there's got to be more than just what he's already repaired on that. As Todd Cray wins the race off pit road, Joshua Banks is going to be coming out in 2nd, Dylan Vose in 3rd, Jeff Schmidt in 4th, John Morris in 5th, Marion in 6th off pit road. Joe Bichette having a bad pit stop. He comes out the last of those ones. Eric Minch staying out, but no, he brings it down pit road now. So David Worrell is 9 laps down, staying out to get a wave around. It's amazingly staying in it tonight, so good for him. He's not at the best. He's not at the best of luck since Daytona, as David Worrell, is he?
No, he hasn't. But staying out to get the wave around. Not sure how well that's going to work 20 laps into a tire run.
Not sure either.
Gray, Banks, Vose, Schmidt, Morris, Marion, Littleton, Pemberton, Bouchette, and Wubker up to 10. So good recovery for the 09 of Jeff Wubker. We saw him get shuffled back on the start in the Mission Able number 09. Again, another great charity, represented here in the Go Fast Grand National Series.
Absolutely. As we look at the driver behind him, that's Gary Griffith. Not a driver we've mentioned tonight, and I believe he's making his debut tonight. So good to see.
He is.
Yeah, good to see him out there in that number 300 Ford Mustang, the EcoBoost Ford Mustang. So saving a bit of energy there. Let's go back to our leaders as Todd Cray is out there in front as we are. I'm guessing the lights are going to go out on the pace car this time.
Safe bet. And I'd like to point out that Todd Cray is rolling with the crew from Metalhead Motorsports tonight. So big team showing up there. You can tell that those guys really want this Bristol win.
Yeah, and as I said, Todd Craig coming back after having some personal time out, had an operation earlier in the season, so he missed about 3 or 4 races. Good to see him back out there in that number 21 and hoping to really make a name for himself in the Xfinity cars, especially after winning in the trucks last season.
Winning in the trucks last season, and great to see the drive that he's having tonight. He's got his teammate Jeff Schmidt behind him. As we are back under green, and he pulls the trigger early. And Schmidt getting a great run on the high side, putting the pressure right now on Josh Banks. And here comes Dylan Vos in the 19 as well.
Yeah, Austin Barrion right behind him as well. He's managed to make his way up to... Oh, Pemberton into the wall. Manages to save it. That's a bit sketchy for him as John Morris is going to catch up to him now. Derek Pemberton has got some pretty nasty damage on that right front fender now.
Got some nasty damage on the right front fender, but able to keep it wound up on the high side. And it's something we saw last night that, Bristol is luckily not a big aero track. It's more of a chassis tuning track. As Bose goes to the inside of Banks right now, they should battle for third. As Jeff Schmidt right behind his teammate, Todd Cray, for second.
Yeah, so Team Metalhead really putting the hammer down at this point in the race as we are now starting lap 115 of 200. 1, 2 and 4 into the positions for Team Metalhead right now. So they are really putting the hammer down at this point in the race. Let's go to Mr. Tyler Cox on his recovery, see how he's going. He's back up into the top 10 already. So the number 14 making his comeback already for this race.
And making a comeback already, but after that last wreck, Tyler texting while driving, saying that he had a first to say it, then you do it kind of moment during that last caution.
Yeah, as he's making his way on the inside of the 43 of John Morris. Not going to make it work as Derek Pemberton is dropping back as well. Joe Bichette making his way through the field. He's already up into the top 6 as Pemberton's damage is starting to hurt him now. He's falling back away as well.
Well, they're about to go 3 wide, and this is going to end 8 different kinds poorly. As Pemberton into the wall, or no, that's Littleton into the wall.
Ah, there it is. Oh!
You knew it was just a matter of time before something went horribly wrong when they went 3 wide.
Yeah, Chapman got a piece of that as well.
Chapman got a piece of it as Morris got into the left front fender of Pemberton, and it was just chaos behind him.
It was actually Jeff Wupke and Gary Griffith getting the worst of that. Wupke and Griffith driving some seriously damaged cars after that incident, and baptism of fire for the number 300.
Baptism by fire, but you got to feel for Jeff Wupke right now, as he tried to avoid it, and unfortunately for him, Griffith slid up the track, and Wupke had absolutely nowhere to go.
As we're seeing everybody bringing it down pit side again, we're watching Todd Cray. He is our current leader as Eric Minch stays out again, and Craig Hawkins, so I'm guessing some collusion there between those two. As there's Todd Cray coming out of his pit box. Is he going to stay out? Get out in front? Yes, he is, as Tyler Cox comes out in second place. What a stop for the 14. 2 tyres again. Yeah. So he's gained a lot of positions from that.
Very much. as Minch and Hawkins taking it pit side. So this is getting interesting now.
Absolutely. As we are over halfway, well, past halfway in the race, so coming up to the 3/4 mark in this, and I've just realised I've not had the ticker scroll on for the whole race. Great. I've got it on now.
Fair enough. As the 300, not sure what was going on there a lap or so ago, but the 300 got into the 14.
Oh.
Was not paying attention coming out of pit road, and just blasted the left front tire of Tyler Cox. A young gunner, that's definitely not how you make friends in the Go Fast Racing League.
Absolutely not. As I don't know, maybe it was a retaliatory bump after that incident, because the 14 was in it as well. He just managed to get away with it. Don't know, maybe some anger being displayed there.
Change my tires. Yeah. You destroyed both my race cars. No, okay. I don't know. But you know, we are we're past halfway, about 70. We're probably going to get the green to about 75 laps to go. So it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out as the lights are out on the pace car. Cray taking the high side, Cox going to the inside. You got to wonder what's going to happen here, because it's getting near go time, and I don't think we've seen the money stop yet, but it's definitely getting to the point where it's going to be go time.
Well, because this is the cautions are breeding cautions tonight, it's very hard to tell when that money stop will be coming, because of the amount of times they've been down pit road as the pace car peels off. Todd Cray on that preferred outside line as Tyler Cox gets absolutely freight trained on that restart. Todd Cray and Jeff Schmidt absolutely walking away from that 14 as here comes Josh Banks.
Austin Marion gets run over by Mike Travarsky.
No, unfortunate there for Marion, but he's managed to stay ahead of him. Meanwhile, let's go. What
gets into the back of Banks too.
So everybody getting really chippy at this point in the race now.
They're getting chippy, and you saw Vos just cave in the rear bumper of Banks' number 36.
Yeah, and he's taken a bite out of that rear bumper as well. You can see it looks like he's backed into a telegraph pole. And there he goes. Josh Banks, can he save it? He does. Amazing save. I have no idea. That was through turn 4 as well.
Again, how the hell did he save that?
I have no idea. As Michael Chavartha is going to take a look on the outside of that 36 now. The 36 just needs to compose himself and get back in it, as he already has done. Here's the number 2 of Michael Chavartha, and he is chasing him down now as Burchett is making his way through the field again, coming on the inside of John Morris.
Well, this is something we've seen every week so far. Burchett has had to, really drive the wheels off the car because something has happened on his pit stop. I'm looking at the pit time. His inbox is only 14 seconds. However, his cone to cone was 33 and a half. So I'm thinking he may have slid through his pit stall again.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah, Joe Burchett's not really been getting his pit stops right tonight. Having to fight his way through the field every time, but I'm guessing he loves this kind of thing because he does it all the time.
Meanwhile, up at the front of the field, Schmidt and Cox all over each other right now.
Tyler Cox managed to recompose himself and is recovering from that little freight train moment on the restart, and is right behind Jeff Schmidt as we hear someone in the wall behind him, but that's just commonplace at this track. Everyone's getting into the wall tonight. Todd Cray still able to hold on to the lead as the 61 and the 14 are battling behind him, so no troubles for the 21 so far.
No troubles for the 21 so far, but Cox better not look in his rearview mirror, because here comes the 19.
Yeah, Dylan Bowes has had a strong run all night tonight as he's going to look on that inside of the number 14. Still 1, 3 and 4 between the Metalhead drivers, and Team Metalhead really showing the guys how it's done tonight.
Well, they've had a strong team all season, and you got to think that they want to sweep the podium here at the Last Great Colosseum. As Bose dive bombs it to the inside, not going to get it to stick that time.
Yeah, just receiving word that not only is Tyler Cox having a bad night, but he's actually a bit under the weather tonight, so his driving's not going to be the same as it always is, but I don't see any difference in it. He's running in the top 3, challenging for a win tonight. Absolutely,
and this is how he drives when he's sick. I hate to see what's going to happen the rest of the season when he gets better.
Absolutely. As they're making their way and completing lap 138 onto lap 139. Current lineup, current positions are like this. Todd Cray is your leader, Jeff Schmidt second, Tyler Cox third, Dylan Vose is fourth and challenging for third. Joshua Banks is there in fifth after a scary moment involving himself and Trevarthen. Not Trevarthen, was it Vose? Yeah.
Yes.
Seventh place is Michael Trevarthen. Behind is now fallen to about 8 tenths behind Austin Marion. 8th is Joe Bichette, so not making his way through the field anymore, being held up by the number 2. John Morris is 9th, and Adam Chapman in the Autism Speech Machine is rounding out your top 10 for tonight so far.
Oh, Trevarthen and Bichette just plugging it out right now. As Bichette looked like he's going to get the clear off of 4, and there's the 43 of Morris as well. Trevarthen is struggling right now. Looks like he has had a little bit more damage on the number 2 there.
Yeah, that damage really hurting him in this race. As here comes Adam Chapman as well. He fancies a piece of this as well. Taking a bite out of the rear bumper of the number 2. Come on, Adam. He's got enough damage as it is.
Meanwhile, Vose has caught Cox for 4th, or for 3rd, I mean. They were side by side through the 3-4 complex.
Yeah, and Tyler Cox is still staying lockstep behind the 61 of Jeff Schmidt. Jeff Schmidt really having a much better run tonight, but really wants to get up to his teammate and get that win away from the 21. But the 21 looks so goddamn strong tonight as he gets into the wall.
You were saying?
Yeah. Todd Cray.
Yeah. Right now they're dealing with the lap car. That is the 326 of Craig Hawkins.
Craig Hawkins' discretion being the better part of Valor, managing to let the guys by as he is now 1 lap down in 14th place. We've got 13 cars left on the lead lap, and that's Eric Minch there. He is in 13th place, and he's battling with Brian Lutton for the 12th spot.
So you got to wonder what's going to happen with that battle when the leaders hit. They're not that far behind them. Figure these guys are cranking off 15-second lap times, and those guys are 9 seconds back. And there's the battle for 3rd, really heating up. Goes right to the door of Cox right now.
Dive bomb City as he goes on the inside as well. Gets a nose out in front. Oh, bit of contact there. Yeah, bit of contact between the 19 and the 14 as. What? Tyler Cox has lost connection.
That's what I'm looking for.
So not the way you want to see the battle end there. Tyler Cox, yep, he's dropped. He's gone.
His quality is going very south very quickly. Oh man, there's your big point shakeup now.
Yeah, that's not the way you want to see a battle end on the track there. As now Dylan Vose, it's a Team Metalhead 1, 2 and 3 right now, which is amazing.
It is, but when you think about how strong that team has been all season, it's not really that surprising that they're able to do this. But they are over 3 seconds to the good over 4th place Josh Banks.
Yeah, Josh Banks has got his own problems to deal with as he's got Austin Marion and
Tyler Cox, too many incident points.
Oh, he's been disqualified. So, shocker there tonight at Bristol Motor Speedway. Tyler Cox has been disqualified for too many incident points. So, bit of controversy here tonight, Tony. As caution's out.
Considering that at least one of those incident points was the 300 tagging him coming off of pit road.
Yeah, as we're looking to see the cause of the caution, that was Eric Minch. You were saying you were interested to see how that battle was going to shape out, and that's what happened. Getting into it with Derek Pemberton, and him and Pemberton absolutely destroying their cars. Pemberton has taken his car behind the wall. Eric Minch still able to keep it going, but he's got one heavily damaged car right now.
A heavily damaged car, and yeah, that's a rough one. That's definitely a rough one.
Especially for Derek Pemberton, who was our pole sitter tonight as well. So
it was our pole sitter, and wow.
Yeah, a lot of things happening tonight as Dylan Vose slips through his pit box, so that's going to not do him any favours at all. We're looking at Todd Cray now, see what he can do. Can he get back out in front? I'm guessing yes, as Michael Trevathan only just made it into his pit stall. So Todd Cray winning the race off pit road as Brian Littleton has stayed out. Craig Hawkins as well. Back to the leaders. Todd Cray is out first in pit road, Schmidt second, Banks in third, but that's because Dylan Vose slid through his pit stall, and Burchett having a better pit stop this time round. He's fifth out of pit road.
Burchett is doing a little bit better. Littleton taking it down pit side. Craig Hawkins staying out, it looks like.
Yeah, I think he got the lucky dog last time round, so he's
okay.
He's 37 laps on his tyres though.
Yes, still on pit side.
37 laps on those tyres. He's got to come down pit road soon.
Well, here's the thing. He just went 37 laps on his tires, and we're going to take the green with about 40 to go. I'm thinking this could be the money stop. Could it stay green?
And here he comes. Here comes Craig Hawkins down to pit road now. And here's another one with I'm thinking that's a Martin Truex Jr. inspired scheme, the Tracker Pro Bass Shop scheme.
Yeah, yes, it is.
As we are making our way on lap 159 of 200, our current leader Todd Cray is there. And before we go to green, Tony, do you fancy speaking to Mr. Cray? Or do you not want to jinx him?
I don't want to jinx it because we've jinxed everybody that we've talked to so far.
That's true. Let's keep the interviews to a minimum then.
Yeah.
As we see Todd Cray about to complete lap 159 out of 200. 41 laps to go in this little shindig as they're going 2 by 2 now. The lights are off on the pace car. We are about, as you rightly said, Tony, we're about to go green with 40 laps to go.
We're going to take the green with 40 laps to go, so it is possible we have just seen the money stop. Doubtful, but possible.
That is dependent on cautions, though.
True story. As the field works its way into the 3-4 complex, Craig going to have the button in his hands as they exit turn number 4.
Look at Vose and Banks leaning on each other through the corner there. As Vose is going to get the jump on the restart, Vose is going to move up to second place. Or is he? No, he's not. He's going to fall back. Vose has got issues.
He got all sorts of crossed up coming through the 3-4 complex there.
Yes, here comes Burchett. He's trying to make a name for himself in that top 5 as well, making that inside line work. He's the man that's leading the fight there for Team Overtake Motorsports. Oh, Burchett's round! Oh no! Burchett getting it all wrong out of turn 4. And there was no contact with another driver involved in that.
Yeah, there was.
Was there?
Yeah, there was. Yeah, there was contact. It was light contact, but it was still contact.
Oh, Adam Chapman. Yeah, I saw that.
Just ever so slightly. You know, in the one spot on the track where, you know, you're already skating on ice, and you know, unfortunately, you know, Chapman was on the high side, and Vos was chasing it up the hill.
So, championship implications here tonight. A lot of the big runners have been taken out already.
Well, I dare say that, well, the only one that is still in a really good position is Trevarthy. He's running 10th. Well, Brichette's still running 11th, though.
Yeah, but I can't help his car. The thing that his car's going to be slightly underpowered because he did have a front end hit into that wall, so that's going to affect his engine slightly. The only person in that running for the championship that's in the top 5 right now is actually Jeff Schmidt. Oh, Dylan Vos is there as well.
Schmidt sitting second, Vos sitting fourth. So we could see a huge shakeup in the top 5 right now.
Yeah, as our points leader Michael Trevarthen is back there in 10th. Bichette's actually fallen through the field now. He's back down in 12th. He's lost a position to Eric Minch under caution, which is amazing to see. But anyway, so Team Metalhead.
And real quick, I guess the word Lee Granty also got DQ'd.
Oh wow! So
yeah,
incident points there really aplenty tonight, as we've got 2 disqualifications. Lee Grandy getting disqualified, and the big one tonight is most winningest driver of the season so far, Tyler Cox, getting disqualified as well.
Yeah, so it's a rough one right now for some of these guys, as you know, Craig going to have control of the field again. Lights should be going out on the pace car this time across the stripe, as they're working their way down the back straightaway right now.
Absolutely, as the lights are off on the pace car. No, they're not. So we're still pacing.
Well, we're not at the start-finish line yet. So they're working their way out of turn number 4. Lights should go out here. So and there they go.
So apart from Dylan Vos, we're looking at a first-time race winner this season, if it all goes to plan.
If it all goes to plan, but the one you got to almost feel sorry for right now is Josh Banks, as you got Team Metalhead with the 21, the 61, and the 19, all in the same team speak. So chances are, you know, Josh Banks is just going to get completely annihilated here on this restart.
Oh no, I think Josh Banks has won a race this season, hasn't he?
I'm not 100% certain. But pace car is in, and here we go. The entirety of Team Metalhead raining its fury down on the field right now, as Marion and Banks fighting side by side for 4th place.
I'm wondering if Banks is starting to struggle now, because he's fallen back into the grasp of Adam Chapman now. He's moved up to the top 5. Chapman working wonders in that Artisan Speaks machine. He's up in the top 5 now. Dylan Vos is there behind. I think the top 3 are going to stay as they are if they can help it between the teammates. They're going to leave it till like 10 laps to go before they start fighting out between themselves. But as a team, I can't help but think that Team Metalhead are happy where they are right now.
You got to think so, as you know, I'm currently watching the Chapman-Marion battle right now for 5th, and those are 2 of the 3 cleanest race cars on the track currently. Chapman's
being the cleanest out of the 2, as Marion does have that rear end damage.
Chapman's right front fender has got a good crinkle.
Yeah, it's not as crinkle as the back end of Marion's car, though.
True story.
As here comes John Morris. John Morris making a name for himself on that outside, as Trevarthen into the wall again.
Trevarthen into the wall again. Marion, Morris in the 43 has the cleanest car on the track.
I don't know how, because he's hit a couple of people tonight.
Apparently he hasn't hit him hard enough to do anything.
True. As we will go back to 12th place, we've got a nice little battle there between Craig Hawkins and Eric Minch. I can't help but think that those two are working together, as Jeff Wumker is there as well, battling out for the lower places in the field. Jeff Wumker trying to make a comeback after being involved in every single incident, almost every single incident tonight.
Well, Wumker, is the last car on the lead lap. He got that lucky dog that last time, so trying to make the most of it right now. Meanwhile, up in front, everybody's still running single file. Still, Schmidt holding court in second. Craig's still showing the way. Dylan Vos in second. Dylan Vos in third, tagging the wall.
Oh, Schmidt in the wall, even worse.
Reel him in.
Schmidt really pancaked the wall just then, coming out of turn 4. No, turn 2, sorry. So Schmidt in the wall as well. Joshua Banks must be rubbing his hands there. If they keep it in the wall, he's going to fall into his favour right now.
Well, it's going to fall into his favour, but he's got to have a lot of other things to help. As
we've got
Barthen starting to get the blink going.
Yeah, he's right behind John Morris as well, so that's the battle for 7th place right there, as Austin Marion has actually got a gap over John Morris now, got it up to almost half a second now. The top 4, let's go back to the top 4, they have absolutely checked out from Adam Chapman.
Well, they're over a second to the good right now, but they're kind of all holding court. Todd Cray has started to check out on Jeff Schmidt. Schmidt is still, or Vos is still within striking distance of Schmidt, and Banks is still within striking distance of Vos. So, except for Todd Cray, this battle right now is really going to be for the podium. The last 2 spots on the podium.
And I don't know if you just saw there, Josh Banks getting into the wall on the exit of turns 3 and 4 on that last lap. He's fallen back a bit from Dylan Vos. He's going to regroup and come back again, I should imagine. But the top 3, Team Metalhead, really putting on a clinic tonight.
Well, you've heard of the Darlington Stripe. Well, this is the Bristol Bump.
Yeah.
As Banks just, with a little bit of cosmetic work to the right rear of the 36.
Yeah, let's go back to our battle for 6th, as we've got a nice 4-car battle now between... No, 3-car battle with Worrell right behind him, but look at Trevarthen trying to make a move on John Morris, trying to make that inside line work. Not going to work this time round, as Morris gets a slingshot out of turn 4.
What the hell?
What?
Josh Banks' connection just went straight to shit.
I'm still seeing him there in 4th place. He's not dropped back at all, but it's
he's got a 4-digit ding.
Oh wow, okay. Oh no. As Todd Cray is a second to the good over Jeff Schmidt now. So Todd Cray really walking away with this, and he's doing it at the most opportune moment with 13 laps to go. Now going to be 12 laps to go. Todd Cray has got the race in his hands right now, and he is stretching that lead, Tony.
So Todd, when the caution does come out, you can send your hate mail to Sam Cooper Bennett, Dublin, Ireland, PO Box OU812.
Yeah, you can borrow. You can come over with Frenchie.
True story. Anyways, as we are closing in on 10 to go, Gray, Schmidt, Vos, Banks, Chapman, Morris, Trevarthen, Marion, Littleton, and Joe Burchett back up into 10.
Yeah, as I just noticed that Morris and Trevarthen have actually got around Marion. So Marion falling backwards now.
And the 43 of Morris does not have a pristine car anymore.
No, he must have tagged the wall or something on.
I'm thinking or something.
Yeah, as they almost come together, him and Trevathan almost come together. Todd Cray 1.6 seconds to the good over Jeff Schmidt now. Jeff Schmidt still got Dylan Vose on his tail, as I can only assume, as we are 7 to go now. Todd Cray coming across the line. Craig Hawkins is the lap car behind Vose and Schmidt right now, so, and you are right, Josh Banks has fallen back now. He's 1.3 seconds behind Dylan Vose now. He's realising he's probably got those connection issues, has decided to back off a bit and probably settle for that 4th place now.
Well, it's settling for 4th place, but it's one of those discretion the better part of valor deals, and if we see Trevathan going a lap down, there's the whole, again, discretion the better part of valor, that whole thing. He's trying to just salvage as many points as he can possibly get out of tonight. Well, and take it into the fight next week as we go to Richmond.
Well, something has happened to Trevathan, because he was battling for that 6th spot, and now he's dropped back to 12th place and he's a lap down. So I'm wondering I wonder if he's had a spin somewhere. As we are 4 laps to go, about to go 3 laps to go, is Todd Cray.
Yeah, he did.
Luckily didn't bring out a caution, as Todd Cray asserting his dominance in this race. We are 3 laps to go. Popsicle sticks are going to come out this time around as he makes his way through turns 3 and 4. Tony, we are 2 to go.
2 to go is Cray with a commanding lead. Anything that comes out right now, Cray is going to win the race. Schmidt and Vose still fighting it out for 2nd. It's still anybody's battle for that, unless Todd Cray steps on his own junk. White flag is out. Cray just has 4 more corners to make that 2 more corners. Vose is going to have one final shot at his teammate as he overcooks it going into 1.
And Todd Cray is your winner here at Bristol Motor Speedway. Absolute dominance at the end part of this race. Great win for Todd Cray, missing a few weeks due to the operation he had, making his comeback and absolutely making a name for himself on that comeback. What a comeback he's had actually this season.
Well, Sam, I'm going to suggest that we do something here for the
interviews.
The interviews, thank you. I couldn't think of the word there as I'm trying to find drivers. I dare say we just bring them all in and talk to them all at the same time, because that was a team victory there.
Absolutely, as we should bring all members of the Team Metalhead team into the broadcast booth. They are Jeff Schmidt, Dylan Vose and Todd Cray. There, let's bring them all in.
All right, so we're going to reach out to Dylan Vose first, as we're watching the Team Metalhead celebration on the front straightaway. Dylan, you weren't sure if you had a car that was going to be able to really compete after that early incident, but hey, taking a podium, right?
Yeah, it certainly isn't a bad feeling, especially after all that happened tonight. I feel awesome just to even talk to you guys once again here. I really didn't feel like I had that decent enough car to do it, but I guess so.
Well, you made a run of it there towards the end. I'm thinking you were kind of trying to one final dive bomb going into 1 as the white flag came out, and you just overcooked it and kind of gave that one to Jeff. Said, "Sure, you can have 2nd."
Yeah, that was kind of our plan, was to kind of see if we can get a Metalhead 1, 2, 3, and luckily it all worked out. I just want to apologize, too, to Josh Banks for getting into him. That was unintentional both times, and sorry that it had to not ruin his night, but didn't make his night any easier. So, yeah, overall, though, it was a great night. Fun night.
Well, I'm not sure if Jeff is actually with us or not, but Jeff, you had a hell of a group of restarts there towards the final half of the race.
Oh, right. You got a copy?
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Hell of a race. I'm sorry, I just put my headset back on. I didn't really hear what the question was.
Well, no, we were saying that towards the tail end of the race, you guys really had those restarts just pegged.
Oh yeah, you gotta love being on a team and working together.
Well, that was one of the things we mentioned going into that final restart was, unfortunately for Josh Banks, it was kind of a sitting duck at that point with the three of you all around him and in the same TeamSpeak channel.
Yeah, I mean, yeah and no. Josh is such a fast driver. Everywhere we go, Joshua Banks has been top notch, and I know he's had some misfortunes with connections and whatnot, but if he could keep a stable connection, he would be one to fight for the championship. That would be for sure. So, I mean, yeah, we had our benefit with the start, being able to call it down to each other and let each other know what's going on. But then again, he's such a good racer that I wouldn't say that that's the only reason that he didn't get up there. There must have been something else going on, or maybe he had damage, or who knows what.
He had a 4-digit ping.
Ah, yeah. That doesn't help things, does it?
Yeah, no, that's definitely not what you want to see, especially when you're fighting for a podium finish like that. But we're going to reach out now to the man of the hour. What a way to make a comeback to the Go Fast Grand National Series. Todd Cray, dominant performance tonight. Todd, congratulations on the win.
Man, thanks guys. That was a fun 200 laps. Came in, wanted to save a little bit. The guys were just fast, and you just had to kind of bide our time and work together a little bit. And man, to come out 1, 2, 3 like this with Metalhead Motorsports, I tell you, these guys have just been unbelievable with me and bringing me in. I'm pretty new to the team, and they just treat me like family. And I just want to take my hat off to Jeff and for running the whole show and all the guys on the team. What a great night, man! I want to give this to Metalhead Motorsports.
Well, congratulations to all you guys tonight, and I'd like to point out that there's going to be a huge shakeup in the points, because I'm not sure if you guys received word or not, but Tyler Cox, unfortunately, got hit with the Dairy Queen tonight, and so he's actually finishing in 17th spot, and your other teammate Michael Trevarthen able to salvage a 12th place finish, but pretty far down there, so you guys are going to pick up a lot of points, and so the top 5 is going to have a big shakeup as we go into Richmond next week.
Woo! Good race, fellas.
So just real quick, talk to us about your thoughts about going to Richmond next week.
That's for me. I really love Richmond. Again, just basically keep your nose clean. And just not overdrive. A lot of guys, man, you just see them out here and they're just going so hard and just racking up the points. And, you just got to stay smart, make your moves when the holes open up and let off when they're not there. And, at that rate, you kind of get to the end and see where everything shakes out.
Fair enough. So, now, Todd, you're from Jersey, so that's actually going to be not that far. Almost a home race for you, really.
Oh, Richmond? Yeah. I actually ran Richmond in a Busch car, so really good track for me. Even in iRacing and.
Wait. You're that Todd Cray. That explains everything. Okay. Yeah, ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, Todd Cray, one of the winningest at the time. It was I believe the Goodies Dash series.
Yeah. Yep. We ran the Dash series, and basically. Back then, I was around, 16 years old, and when I was 16, they went to 30-year-olds, and when I was 30, they went to 16-year-olds, so we kind of missed it there, but had a lot of fun, had some wins, met a lot of great people, and just fortunate to have iRacing and guys like this to race with to keep that adrenaline pumping here at home.
Yeah, Todd, I kept thinking all night long, I'm going, I know that name. Where do I know that name from? Now it dawns on me as soon as you said that, but congratulations on the win. Congratulations to all the Team Metalhead. We're looking forward to seeing you guys next week at Richmond, and we'll let you get back up and celebrate with the rest of your team, guys.
All right, cool, guys. Thanks for putting on the show for us there.
Yeah, thank you guys for a great broadcast, as always.
No problem. Let's move.
We getting some pictures here or what, fellas?
As Team Metalhead go back to their room to take a bit of a photo opportunity. Tony, what a race tonight!
What a race is right. You know, we saw a lot of drama happening. You know, with as what happens every time you come to Bristol. You know, the tempers are going to flare. You know, I'm looking at the face or the YouTube live chat, and there are some unhappy drivers, but it's Bristol.
Yeah, I mean, you can't expect much from that.
Yeah, if something goes wrong, you've got nowhere to hide.
Yeah, and while we're at it, should we see if we can disturb Skylar and see what his thoughts are on the race?
Yeah, let's
reach out to him.
Let's reach out to Mr. Skylar Allen, owner of the Go Fast Racing League. Skylar, if you got us, tell us your thoughts about what we witnessed tonight. Hello, Skylar.
I'm guessing.
Thinking we don't have Skylar.
Yeah, let's not disturb him. Then he might be busy. But yeah,
possibility.
Yeah, but yeah, a very action-packed race tonight. As much as you'd expect from Bristol. Lots of bumping and banging, as you also would expect from Bristol. But I think the right person came out on top tonight. Todd Cray was just so dominant out of there.
And if you guys ever want to take a look at a really good video, there, I believe it's on the Team Metalhead Motorsports Facebook page. There's a good kind of vignette about Todd, and I've heard of Todd prior to this, being from the Northeast myself. I kind of know a little bit about Todd's career prior to coming to iRacing, and I remember being a kid going, yeah, I want to do that someday. Watching Todd, he's got me by a couple of years. So when I say kid, I was like, he's got about 10 years on me. So when he was 16, I was 5-6 years old, just starting my quarter midget career, and he was coming out of quarter midget. So it's good to see him get a win like this, going away in style like he did tonight.
Absolutely, and well deserved. What a comeback for Todd Cray in that number 21 Mustang. Just want to do a couple of shout outs before we go to the results. Just want to give a shout out to Adam Chapman. He was running the Autism Speaks car tonight, and we do have a logo up on the screen there in the top right hand corner of Autism Awareness. Yeah, we've
for more information on how you can get involved in autism awareness and to the treatments of autism, we ask that you go to autism-society.org.
Absolutely. And our second shout out tonight, I want to give a shout out to Somo Racing League owner Paul Zota for supplying tonight's overlay. PZ Overlays. If you got something on your mind, you want to see something on your screen for your broadcast, then give Paul Zota a shout out there for PZ Overlays.
Absolutely. So big shakeup in the points tonight as we move from the Last Great Colosseum to Richmond next week. And if what we saw here tonight is any indication, there's some drivers that might be looking to settle some scores next week.
Yeah, Tyler Cox being one of those. He suffered a disqualification tonight, not being very well either tonight. Either way, let's go through our results for tonight. Mr. Todd Cray coming home with a very popular win tonight. He brings home the checkered flag here in the 21 machine. Bear with me 1 second. For some reason, my stream unpaused. Todd Cray getting the win. Jeff Schmidt second, Dylan Vose third. So it's Metalhead 1, 2, 3 here tonight at Bristol Motor Speedway. Joshua Banks had the challenge there but fell back later on in the race due to connection issues. He comes home in fourth. Adam Chapman in the Autism Speaks machine, as we already spoke about. He rounds out the top 5. Joe Burchett sixth. 7th, John Morris. 8th, Brian Littleton. 9th, Austin Marion. And rounding out the top 10 was Jeff Wubka. Tony.
Eric Minch bringing it home in 11th spot. Michael Gavarthan battling back from some early issues, able to come home in 12th. Craig Hawkins bringing it home in 13th. 14th going to Gary Griffith. David Worrell coming home in 15th. 16th going to the 16 of Derek Pemberton. Tyler Cox getting scored as 17th. Lee Grantee 18th. Landon Lacey in 19th. And Stephen Parks, unfortunately, just annihilating that car to bring up the first caution. Unfortunately, going to be scored in 20th.
Absolutely. As we are now going to go to our post-close show. What a race tonight here at Bristol. Looking forward to what we can see tonight. That's going to do it for us tonight. We are going to go and get another rest, go back to our hotel rooms, and we're going to be back here again tomorrow with K&N action with the Major League Esports League and their K&N cars. Going to be very exciting to see tomorrow, Tony.
Well, I dare say if what we've seen the past 2 nights here at Bristol gives me any indication, the fireworks are definitely going to fly with the old school cars rolling out here tomorrow night.
Absolutely. As we are going there tomorrow, Sunday, we are back with the ARDC series. Yeah, the ARDC. Yeah, and they are going to be
at. I'm sorry. I missed what you were asking. ARDC midgets are going to be at Knoxville, and then we're going to be back here at Bristol on Monday with the 305 Wing Sprint cars for their. Now it's a $15 to win race, so keep your eyes posted in the iRacing Dirt World Facebook page for more information on how you can get involved in that one if you want to win some cold hard cash.
Absolutely. As we are going to go through the rest of our schedule, Tuesday we're back with the India Elite Series and we're going to Barber Motorsports Park. That should be an exciting one, Tony. I'm looking forward to going there.
I love the Spider.
Yeah, love the Spider. Wednesday we're back with Top Fuel Racing and they are at Pocono, the new Pocono. So I'm going to be in that race. Tony's going to be up in the booth. We're looking forward to that one. Thursday we're back with Somo and they are at Richmond, and obviously next Friday we are back with this league, Go Fast Racing, and they are at Richmond as well. Tony, a stout week ahead of us.
A stout week ahead of us, and I'm thinking that it's a good thing that I'm not working Sunday and Monday because I plan on sleeping most of both of those days.
Absolutely. Well, that's going to do it for us tonight here at Bristol Motor Speedway. As we already said, we are going to go home and get some rest. One final shout out to Autism Awareness and PZ Overlays. Paul Zotto supplying the overlay tonight and bringing us the graphics we have tonight. We're going to get out of here. From myself, Sam Cooper Bennett, from my broadcast partner, Mr. Tony Trapasso, we will wish you a good night. Drive safe, drive clean.
We clear?